So once again, very good afternoon to one and all. Today we are going to discuss the next virtual lab on heat transfer subject. That is nothing but heat transfer by natural convection. So already we have discussed one virtual lab, that is on thermal conductivity of material. Okay, and that also we have uh, uh, that experimentation part or virtual lab experimentation part we have conducted in the previous session. Today, our aim is to understand how to determine the natural convection heat transfer rate by using the virtual labs, okay, or how to understand the natural convection concept, okay, heat transfer by using natural convection concept. As we know that in the third year, second semester, we have discussed we learn the heat transfer subject, and in that heat transfer subject we learn about the modes of a heat transfer. The first mode is conduction heat transfer, second is convection heat transfer, and third is uh, radiation heat transfer. These three modes of heat transfer and the heat transfer rate for the various geometries we have discussed in the subject. Okay, so also me and Shashikant Jadhav sir also conducted the video practicals demonstration of actual practical sessions, and that are made available on respective study material sheets. Okay, so today our aim is to understand the natural convection heat transfer by using virtual lab. Okay, so by the way, I have shared the link of this virtual lab on your WhatsApp group also. Okay, so you can open that. If you have the laptop, then you can open that and you can check that also. You will get the same screen on your laptop. Okay, if you have a laptop. If you have a mobile, then after completion of this demonstration you can perform the task, no issue. Okay, so the virtual lab having segregated in different tabs. The first part is a theory part, second is a procedure, third one is a self evaluation, and fourth one is a simulator, then assignment, reference, and feedbacks. Okay, so in this session we are going to discuss about the theory part, procedure, self evaluation, and simulator part. So most important, our aim is to complete this or to understand the simulator part. Okay, so and to understand the simulator part we required some theory part. Okay, so that we should have some knowledge related to the natural convection and the laws related to the natural convection. Then the procedure to perform the simulation of the experiment, and then self evaluation, how much understanding do you have related to the topic, that is nothing but self evaluation, and finally we will move towards the simulator part. Okay, so our aim is to determine the overall heat transfer coefficient at the surface of a given vertical metal cylinder by the natural convection method, and the next part is nothing but to determine the value of a Nusselt number. Okay, so for that purpose we are going to consider this type of figure. Okay, so apparatus consists of one duct, wooden duct. Okay, duct means what? It is hollow body, and it is open ended at both the side. Okay, so or it is open at both the sides, so that is nothing but a duct. Okay, so this outer structure, you can see that this is the duct, and in this particular duct one cylindrical tube is placed. Okay, one cylindrical tube is placed, and inside that cylindrical tube one heater is placed. Okay, here you can see that the heater is there. So this heater is placed inside this cylindrical tube. Okay, now this heater, when this heater will get heated, it will transfer the heat to the surface of a cylinder. Okay, it will transfer the heat to the surface of a cylinder, and that heat will be transferred to the surrounding air by conduction. Okay, whenever the fluid molecules are in a physical contact with each other, at that time the heat transfer happen. That heat transfer will be called as a conduction heat transfer. So in the nearest vicinity of this material, okay, very small thickness, for the very small thickness of air, the conduction will happen. Okay, and further the heat will transfer because of a temperature difference. and because of that temperature difference, the density difference will happen. Okay, density difference will happen, and due to that density difference, the low density air or the high density, okay, as the temperature increases, the density of air will goes on reducing. Okay, will goes on reducing. So as the temperature of air in the vicinity of this particular cylinder will get increased, at that time the density of that particular air will get decreased, and that air will move in a upward direction. That air will move in the upward direction. Okay, and the this hot air is moved in an upward direction, and it will be replaced by the cooler air, which is moving from bottom side to the top side. Okay, once again the cold air will be in a contact with the hot surface, and in the vicinity of the cylinder surface, the conduction will happen, and the air will get heated, and that heated air having low density, and because of that low density air will move in a upward direction. Okay, this is the concept of a natural convection. So first of all, we need to understand that the convection is happen only in the fluids. Okay, fluid is a broader concept which include the liquids and the gases also. Okay, so convection will happen in a fluids only. Okay, not, it will not happen in a solid. Okay, inside the solid. Okay, so conduction happen in a solid, liquid and gases. Okay, so but the convection, to happen a convection heat transfer, or to transfer the heat by convection mode of a heat transfer, uh, uh, the fluid should have some kind of a motion, or we can say that uh, the fluid particle or the particles of a material should move or flow from one location to the another location. So then that heat transfer will be called as a convection heat transfer. Okay, then that heat transfer will be called as a convection heat transfer. Now in convection point, we have also discussed one governing law of a convection, that is nothing but Newton's law of cooling. Okay, this is the governing law of convection, and in that we have discussed that heat transfer rate by convection is directly proportional to the surface area and temperature difference between the surface and the fluid. Okay, and the fluid. So the equation simply we can write it as a Q is equal to H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T. Okay, so this is the Newton's equation. We know that Q is equal to H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T. Okay, delta T. Delta T is nothing but a temperature difference between the surface and the surrounding fluid, or the fluid which is in the motion or which is flowing over that particular surface. Okay, H is called as a convective heat transfer coefficient. Okay, this is convective heat transfer coefficient, and we know the properties of a convective or significance of this H. It is not a property of any substance. It depends on a fluid properties. Okay, H is depends on a fluid properties. As we know that thermal conductivity is the property of a material. Okay, it is the property of a material, but heat transfer coefficient, that is nothing but H, is not a property of a any material, and this H value is different for different flow velocities, different density of a fluid, different temperature. Okay, uh, and the surfaces which are in uh, in the contact with that particular fluid. Okay, so that is nothing but it depends on thermal properties of a fluid. Okay, it depends on a geometrical properties. Okay, it depends on the pressures and condition for that particular fluid. Okay, so all these properties can vary. Okay, in if any of the property will get varied, the H value will get changed. Okay, the H value will get changed. So it is not a property of a material. It depends on different types of different properties of a fluid and the condition of that particular fluid. Okay, that we know that this is the Newton's law of cooling. Okay. Okay, so in conduction we have discussed that when when the heat is transferred within the body, okay, within the body, or the bodies which are in physical contact with each other, and the heat transfer happening between that two bodies will be called as a conduction heat transfer. Okay, and that we have encountered, or we can formulate that heat transfer rate by conduction by using the Fourier's law. Okay, so Fourier's law stated that heat transfer rate is directly proportional to perpendicular surface area for the flow of heat and temperature gradient between the two surfaces, and it is inversely proportional to the thickness of that particular material or the slab. Okay, so according to the statement, it can be represented as Q. Here it is represented Q by T. So that is also good thing if you want to mention it in a time. Okay, but Q, in our cases we have discussed that this T is inbuilt in a Q. Okay, this T is inbuilt in a Q. That's nothing but heat transfer. We are considering as heat transfer rate as Q. Okay, here heat transfer is different one and rate is different one. Okay, to Q is represented the heat transfer, and when we are dividing with the time with that particular Q, then it will become heat transfer rate. So according to our Fourier's law, we can say that Q or Q by T can be determined by using the formula K multiplied by A multiplied by delta T divided by L, where K is the thermal conductivity of a material. As we have discussed that this K or thermal conductivity is the property of a substance. Okay, and for a particular substance, for a particular composition and the environmental condition, K value does not differ. Okay, does not differ. A is the perpendicular surface area and delta T is the temperature difference between the two surfaces. Okay, where the L is the thickness of that particular body or the surface. Okay, so this is about the conduction heat transfer, and as we have already discussed over here, this is about the convection heat transfer. This is about the convection heat transfer. So according to the Newton's law of cooling, we know that Q by T is equal to H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T. Okay, so this is the equation. Now the next part is what is the unit of H? H is represented with the unit of watt per meter square per Kelvin. Okay, and the unit of thermal conductivity is watt per meter Kelvin. Okay, so that is the unit difference. The second part is nothing but we have also discussed in a heat transfer subject that there are a number of dimensionless numbers. Okay, and one out of that one is nothing but a Nusselt number. What is the significance of a Nusselt number? So a Nusselt number shows the enhancement of heat transfer because of a convection. Okay, the enhancement of a heat transfer because of a convection. Okay, कन्वेक्शन की वजह से हीट ट्रांसफर में कितनी बढ़त आ गई है, वो क्या रिप्रेजेंट करता है? Nusselt नंबर रिप्रेजेंट करता है. कैसे रिप्रेजेंट करता है देखिए आप. So the formula of a Nusselt number is the convection heat transfer rate divided by conduction heat transfer rate. Okay, convection heat transfer rate divided by conduction heat transfer rate is the formula of Nusselt number. So convection heat transfer rate is H multiplied by A multiplied by delta T, and conduction heat transfer rate is K multiplied by A multiplied by delta T divided by L. Okay, so according to our formula, Nusselt number is the ratio of convection heat transfer to the conduction heat transfer. So if you put up HA multiplied by delta T whole divided by K multiplied by delta T divided by L. So from that equation, we come to know that A delta T and A delta T will be cancelled. So from convection, H will be remain, and from conduction, K divided by L will be remaining part. So we will get the formula for Nusselt number is equal to H divided by K divided by L. So that will be equal to HL divided by K. Okay. So where L can be represented as the characteristic length for the body. Okay. So this is about the overview or the theoretical part of this particular experiment. Okay. And I hope you understood what is meant by conduction, what is meant by convection, and the Newton's law of cooling and the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay. So where to use this natural convection concept, that is also important point. Some applications are listed over here. So cooling of a commercial high voltage electrical power transformers. So we know that we in our local language we called it as a DP. Okay, DP or depot. Okay, so depot or DP, whatever it may be. But the proper name is transformer. So electricity transformation, whatever the transformers are placed, you can see that. So these transformers consist of large amount of high density oil. Okay, and it is boiling continuously inside that particular transformer, and need to transfer the large amount of heat quickly. But we cannot place any air conditioning surrounding to that particular DP and or that particular transformer, or we cannot provide any extra fan system or a blower system to that particular transformer. So whatever the heat transfer is happening from the transformer to the external air or the surrounding air, so that will be considered as convection heat transfer. Okay, so simulation or the designing of the transformers will be based on the natural convection concept only. Okay, so then the in winter season, some people are using the heaters in the room. So the heat transfer from the heater to the entire room, that particular simulation part or understanding of that particular concept is also based on the natural convection concept. Then we know that there are steam pipes which are used to transfer the steam from boiler location to the application of that particular steam. Okay, so the heat lost from that particular steam pipe to the external environment, that heat transfer or the loss of a heat, okay, or the loss of energy, that part is also considered as a natural convection part. Okay, so there are nuclear power plants are there, the pump systems are there. Okay, where there is a source of heat and that heat losses to the surrounding without any external agency. Okay, then that particular heat transfer will be considered as natural convection. Okay, when there is a heat source and that heat is losing, that particular heat source is losing the heat to the surrounding without using any external agency, then that particular heat transfer application will be simulated or will be analyzed by using the natural convection concept. Okay, so the cooling of electronic devices, that will be also considered for the natural convection application with forced convection. If you consider that the laptops and the PCs, so the fans are placed inside that PCs and laptops. That fans are these fans are provided to blow the cool air over the heated surface, and that that heat transfer will be considered as a forced convection heat transfer. Okay, that heat transfer will be considered as a forced convection heat transfer, because whenever we are using any external agency to blow forcefully air over the heated surface, then that heat transfer will be considered as a forced convection heat transfer. Then that heat transfer will be considered as a forced convection heat transfer. This is the basic difference between the natural convection and the forced convection. Okay, so I want to skip this procedure part first, then afterward I will take this procedure part. Then first of all we will go for the self-evaluation part. Okay, what you understood, I will come to know from this particular self-evaluation. Okay, can you see the questions on your screen? Okay, so let us play the Kaun Banega Crorepati. Okay, so first question is heat transfer by convection occurs. Heat transfer by convection occurs. So options are only in liquid, only in gases, only in liquid and gases, in solid, liquid and gases. Okay. So what is the answer for this? Heat transfer by convection occurs only in liquid, only in a solid, or only in a gases. Third option is only in liquid and gases. And fourth option is solid, liquid and gases. What is the answer for this question? Anybody? Anyone can reply? What is the answer of first question? Heat transfer by convection occurs. convection की वजह से heat transfer किस टाइप के सब्सटेंस में होती है? लिक्विड में होती है क्या हीट ट्रांसफर कन्वेक्शन की वजह से? गैसेस में होती है क्या? नहीं तो लिक्विड एंड गैसेस में होती है क्या? नहीं तो सॉलिड, लिक्विड एंड गैसेस तीनों में होती है क्या? Okay, what will be your answer? Let me know your guesses also. No issue. It may be wrong. You can reply. At least I come to know that whether you are listening or not. No, no one is listening. Okay, so I'll tell you the answer. Answer is C, that is only in liquid and gases. Okay, as we have already discussed that to transfer the heat by convection, there should be a flow of a material or flow of a fluid should be there. Okay, and that flow of a fluid is happening in a liquid and gases. It is not happening in the solids. So that the convection heat transfer will happen in a liquid and gases, and it will not happen in a solid. So only in liquid is the wrong answer. Only in a gas is also wrong answer. But only in liquid and gases, this is the correct answer. And only in solid, liquid, gases, this is the wrong answer. Okay. So the second question is rate at which heat flows through the slab depends upon. Okay. Rate at which heat flow through the slab. So heat flow through slab. ये concept किसकी है? So ये concept है conduction की. Okay. Rate of heat, rate at which heat flows through the slab. So slab से heat किस मोड से जाती है? कौन से मोड से जाती है? So conduction मोड से जाती है. So ये किस पर डिपेंड करता है? Rate of heat transfer through the slab. Okay. So now here we have to recall the Fourier's law. That is nothing but Q is equal to K multiplied by A multiplied by delta T divided by L. Okay, this is the formula for the Fourier's law. So on which factor this heat transfer is depending? Thickness of slab, yes, it is depending. Area of the slab, yes, it is depending. The temperature difference between the faces of the slab, yes, depending. So we can say that the answer is all of the above. Okay. Then next question is, which of the following is not method of a heat transfer? Okay, or a mode of a heat transfer? Convection है, conduction है, insulation मालूम नहीं, radiation है. So insulation is the answer. It is not a mode of a heat transfer. Okay. So fourth question is, outdoors in the winter, why does a piece of a metal feel colder than a piece of a wood? ओके। जब बाहर ठंड हो तो मेटल ज्यादा ठंडा लगता है एज कंपेयर टू वुड। ओके, एज कंपेयर टू वुड मेटल ज्यादा ठंडा लगता है। क्यों? क्योंकि मेटल एक मेटल is having good thermal conductivity. We know that the metals are having good thermal conductivity, and those materials are having good thermal conductivity. They can easily respond to change in environment. Okay, or they are highly responsive for change in environment, and because of that, we can say that the metal feels more colder than the wood. Okay, so humidity affect the metal easily. Wrong answer. Hardness of the wood. Wrong answer. Metal are good conductor of heat than wood. Okay, all of the above is the wrong answer. So answer is C, that is metal are good conductor of heat than the wood. The fifth question is, why hot air rise and cold air sinks? Okay, इसका मतलब क्या है? क्यों गर्म एयर ऊपर की तरफ जाती है, ओके, और क्यों ठंडी एयर नीचे की तरफ आती है? ओके, दिस इज द basic question actually. Okay, so if it will not happen, we will not see the rainy season. Okay, because the hot air, we know that the vaporization, after the vaporization of water from the earth's surface, its density is lower than the air density, and because of that only the vapors are moving in an upward direction and they are forming the cloud, and then the rain, or we can see the raining on the earth. Okay, so this is the normal question, we know that. So hot air rises because due to the density, due to the environment, due to the collision of molecules, all of the above. Okay, the right answer is due to the density. Okay, as the temperature of the liquid increases, its density decreases. This is the basic principle behind this rising of air, or rising of water from the bottom side to the upward side. Okay, and yes, these are the answers. So submit the answers after giving the answers, and check that whether it is right or wrong. Okay, so this is the self evaluation part. Okay, now we will see the procedure part. Okay, how we are going to perform this particular simulation part of experiment. Okay, so here there are some controllers in the simulation part. First one is nothing but we have to select which material we are going to consider for the cylindrical tube. Okay, so choose material, then side of wooden box. Okay, whatever the duct is there, so that duct is prepared by using the wooden material. Okay, so the length of okay, height of the wooden box. So next is also that, also we have to decide that how much height we want to provide to that wooden box. Okay, this is the simulation part, and you can analyze what is the effect of this height, side of wooden box, and height on the heat transfer. Then diameter of wooden box is also one of the parameter. Then next one is the length of a cylinder, that is also one parameter. Then thickness of a cylinder. Okay, थिकनेस कितनी होनी चाहिए वो भी हम पैरामीटर ले सकते हैं. So we will get the results accordingly, and what are the different effects if you change one parameter. Then knob is provided, white knob is there to vary the voltage and current. Okay, then power on switch is there, and the temperature indicator is there, which will provide you the temperature of the 6 thermocouple. Okay, so the total number of thermocouples are 6. 4 are placed on the surface of cylinder, and 2 are hanged free. Okay, or it is these 2 thermocouples are suspended free in the air, okay, to measure the inlet temperature of air and the exit temperature of air, and that will be used for the calculation purpose. So then what will be the procedure? First of all, we have to select the material, okay, which of the cylindrical tube. Then height and sides of wooden box, that is nothing but duct, we have to select. Then we have to select the diameter, length and thickness for the cylinder. Then we have to select, or we have to apply the voltage and current input for the heater, okay. And then after that we have to wait to achieve the steady state temperature level, and it will be achieved in this particular experimentation part. It will be achieved after 20 minutes, okay. Then after achieving the steady state temperature, you can measure the 6 thermocouple temperatures, that is nothing but T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, which are provided on 4 are provided on the surface of a cylinder, and 2 are suspended freely to measure the air temperature at the inlet and outlet. Then after that we have to put up this all the data in this particular table. That Excel format table is also provided in the simulation, and directly we can calculate the heat transfer rate by convection, and also we can calculate the Nusselt number, okay. Formulas are already known to you to calculate the Nusselt number and the Fourier number, okay. So this is the diagram, or we can say that our experimentation part. So here you can see that this is the duct. Inside this duct, a cylindrical hollow tube is provided, and inside that hollow tube, this the heater is provided, okay, and which will consume the electricity, and electric energy will be converted into heat energy. Over that surface, we can see that the 4, okay, 2 are the suspended thermocouples, and 4 are placed on this particular surface, okay. But then this is the time indicator, okay. This is the temperature indicator, voltmeter, ammeter, and the knobs are provided. This is the on off switch, and this is the knob to change the voltage and current, okay. To change the voltage and current, this is the knob, okay. First we have to select the material and for cylindrical tube, and then further parts that we will discuss in this simulation part, okay. Shall we start the simulation for convection? So after clicking on the top side box, okay, you will get this particular link, okay, or it will be open up in this manner, okay. So first of all, we have to select at this corner, you can see that, okay, at this corner you can see that. First of all, we have to select the material, okay. So material हमें select करना है. यहाँ पे हमने first copper ही लिया, okay, copper material और aluminium लिया, okay, first material ही लिया. So यहाँ पे कौन से material है हमें use करने के लिए? Aluminium है, copper है, iron है, silver है, steel है. So out of this you can select any of the material. So I will select here aluminium. Then width of wooden box. Now you can see here, as you are going to vary this width, so accordingly here the changes will happen, okay. So let us say now I'm increased, so now it is the changes are happening over here. You can concentrate over here, okay. So I have changed this, yeah, it is changing. Yes, it is changing. Can you see that? Okay, yeah, it is changing, okay. So appropriate thickness you can consider. This is about the wooden box, width of wooden box, okay. चौड़ाई कितने है उसकी wooden box, okay. Then height of wooden box, height कितनी है, height, okay. You can change that height also, okay. You can see that height is changing, yeah, it is changing. Yes, it is changing, okay. So appropriate you can provide the height also, okay. I will consider here 80, 77, okay, 78. So side by side write down the quantities, because we have to put up these quantities while doing the calculation. So width कितने लिए हमने wooden box की? 8.5 लिए. right? Width 8.5, okay, then height 78. Cylinder diameter कितना लेना है? Okay, let us check. 8.2 diameter is 8.2. So cylinder diameter 8.2. ओके, ये जो डायमीटर है इसका, इस सिलेंड्रिकल पाइप का, वो 8.2 लिया है। तो लेंथ कितनी लेनी है? 55 है यहाँ पे, तो मैं कंसीडर करता हूँ 57, लेंथ 57, सो L 57 और थिकनेस, ओके, थिकनेस, सो अंदर का डायमीटर बाहर का डायमीटर, इन दोनों का डिफरेंस क्या होता है? थिकनेस होता है। सो इस सिलेंड्रिकल ट्यूब के लिए थिकनेस कितना रखना चाहोगे आप? सो 0.22 सेंटीमीटर thickness, 0.22 centimeter. Okay, now after providing this all the dimensions for the wooden box and the cylinder, okay, then you have to select the voltage, how much volt you want to provide. Okay, this is the knob, and you can click on these two arrows and you can vary the voltage. Okay, so now here the 100 volt is there, okay, and the respective current. Then if you select this 100 volt, okay, now the 100 volt is there, so respective current will be shown. Now if you want to see the cross section of this particular cylinder, okay, this particular cylinder, so then you can click on show cross section. Okay, show cross section, so you can see here the cross section. You can see the inside the cylindrical tube, the heater is placed. Okay, heater is placed, and this is the cross section of this. And if you remove the tick mark, so it will show in this manner, so cross section will be vanished and the clear experimentation part you can see here. Okay, if you click, the cross section part will be shown here. Okay, after providing the appropriate dimensions and the voltage and current inputs, okay, then you can here there is a button that power on, so you can on it. Okay, after on situation, you can see here how the air is flowing, actually why this box is provided, to avoid the forceful air which is coming in this direction and in this direction over this particular surface of, or over this heated surface. Because of that, the box is provided, so the forced air effect will be negligible on this cylindrical tube, and only the pure natural convection effect you can see here. So as we have started this, the heated air will get or the air which is in the contact with the cylinder, that will get heated, and because of a density difference, that hot air is having the less density, and because of that it will move in the upward direction, and this vacant place will be occupied by the cold air which is moving from the bottom side over the surface of this particular cylindrical tube. So after 20 minutes, you can see here now in the on the watch, you can see here the 20-minute time period is already achieved. Now we have to take the readings for the voltage, current, and the temperatures. Okay, so first of all, note down the voltage, how much voltage we have provided. So 100 volt we have provided, and then current is 0.20. Okay, no, write down that 0.20 and 100 volt. Then measure the 6 thermocouple temperature. So T1 is already shown over here. T1 is 30. Okay, then the next temperature you can see here after clicking on this particular arrow. Okay, so next T2 is 24.61. T2 is 24.61. Okay, then T3 is 26.61. T3 is 26.61. Then T4 is 30.61. T4 is 30.61. Okay, then T5 is 32.61. Okay, 32.61. And T6 is 36. Okay, T6 is 36. Okay, voltage we have noted down, and the temperature indicator readings we have noted down. Okay, so after doing this, okay, actually directly calculations are performed and you will get these things. But if you avoid this and if you put up this in an Excel tabular format, then that will be the better thing. So now I'm closing this particular simulation part. Is there any question, any doubt? Is there any question, any doubt? Is there any question, any doubt? Then we can close this simulation now. Okay, so here it is running. Now, whatever the material we have selected at the bottom side of this simulation, this Excel sheet is provided, which is actually formulated, or the calculations formulas are put up for the each tab, so that these are the formulated Excel table. We need to just put up the data in that Excel table, and we'll get the answer directly. So voltage reading, how much we are getting the voltage reading? So first of all, we have to select the material. Okay, so we have selected first aluminum material. So for aluminum material, we have provided the 100-volt current voltage, and the current is 0.20. Okay, then diameter of the cylinder diameter we have provided as 8.2 centimeter. Okay, then length of a cylinder is I think 57. Okay, then area is directly calculated. Okay, length from by using the formula directly we will get the area over here. Okay, so diameter provided and the length is provided. So area will be 0.1467636. Now here the temperatures readings we have to put. Now T2, T3, T4 and T5. These thermocouples are placed on the surface of a cylinder. So this T2, T3, T4, T5 temperatures will be considered as a surface temperature. Whereas T1 and T6 thermocouple is suspended freely in the air. So T1 and T6 temperatures, thermocouple temperature will be considered as T1 considered as inlet air temperature, and the T6 will be considered as outlet air temperature. Okay, so T2 value is 24.61, 24.61. Then T3 is 26.61. Okay, 26.61. Then T4 is 30.61, 30.61, and T5 is 32.61, 32.61. Okay, so mean temperature is directly calculated. Okay, mean temperature for the surface. Mean means addition divided average of temperature, we can say that. So addition of 4 thermocouple temperature divided by 4, that will be the mean temperature. Then T1 is the inlet temperature of the air, that is 30 degrees Celsius, and T6 is the outlet temperature of the air, so that is 36 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the mean for 30 and 36 is 33. Okay, 30 and 36. Then the heat transfer coefficient can be calculated as minus 31.04, and the Nusselt number is minus 3737.24. Okay, so in this manner you will get the answer. So I will see. Okay, so this is about the aluminum material. So I think I hope you understood how to perform the calculations. Okay, how to perform the calculation. Getting my point, everyone? So this is the calculation. Now you can perform it for the copper material also, and by providing the same things. Okay, now I will not change much things. Okay, I will change the Is there anything wrong? Okay, T1. Right, right. Everything we have put up correct. Okay. Now we will reset this. Okay. And if you select this as a copper material, okay, so accordingly copper will be tube will be become a copper material. In this fashion you can do for the iron also, this fashion silver also, and you can compare the result from the tabular format. Okay, you can compare the result from the table. Okay, is there any doubt, any question in this simulation part? Is there any doubt, any question? Whether you understood how to perform the simulation or how to determine the heat transfer coefficient on the on virtual labs, on virtual labs. Is there any doubt, any question? Okay, now you can perform. Okay, no issue, you can perform. I have shared the link for the simulation, so you can select the different materials and you can perform the things also. And if you have any doubt, any question, you can ask me. You can put up your screenshot of this particular simulation part in our group also. Okay. Or you can send this screenshot in our chat box. No problem. So if I select the copper and then I will provide the 100 volt. Okay. And if I'm switch on the power, okay, T1, 30, 31, 37 and 36. So in this fashion you will get, and you can change this material also by keeping one parameter one parameter as a variable, and by changing and by keeping all other parameters constant. So you can check that the effect of